Hello and welcome to Anglais the Easy Way. This is Richard Watson, and today I'd like to talk about a book called The Wizard of Earthsea. It was written by Ursula K. She's an American writer, and it's kind of the ancestor of the Harry Potter books. A bit darker. It's the kind of story of magic and growing up that we see in Harry Potter. But it's an older style. It's written almost like a fable, with more wisdom and wonder in it. Ursula K. an interesting author because her mother was a writer and her father was an anthropologist. She has a different take on the fantasy world, much more open. I think she's the first fantasy writer to have a hero who's not white and have major characters who aren't white. There's a lot of elements of anthropology or philosophy or Taoism or even kind of feminism in her writing. She pulled out ideas from Carl Jung, the Swiss psychiatrist and psychotherapist. And her books have this philosophical twist to them that a lot of fantasy novels don't really have. As I say, her books have a kind of darker tone to them. They read like old-style texts, and they have a lot of timeless and important themes and messages in them. This particular one talks a lot about balance and harmony and the responsibilities of power, the dangers of pride, and the importance of fighting your ego. If you're going to be reading this book, there'll be some difficult vocabulary for you. There's a lot of names of plants, trees, animals, fish, etc., because there's a lot of magic involved. French people might find it interesting because there's a kind of archaic twist to the language. Some of the way, especially in the dialogues, the way they speak, you get sentences like, "I do no such tricks as these," whereas normally we would say, "I don't do tricks like these." She would say things like, "6 I have seen," whereas now we'd say, "I've seen 6. 8 sons I had, little wizard," for example. So who's this book for? Well, traditionally we say it's for kids and young adults, but the reality is that I think it's a great book for adults too. Adults who are learning the language, obviously, but even any adults who still like to dream of magic and wonder. I think there's a different kind of significance for adults. The way the magic works in this book is about words and the power of words. It teaches us that if you have the word for something, you can have control over it. And for people like you learning a language, it's kind of true. Words are the power. And if you have the word, you have the concept. And if you have the concept, you can use it. It's a book that has a kind of poetic quality to it, which makes a very beautiful reading style. And I'm going to give you a couple of short quotes from it, so you can try and see what I'm talking about. "He grew wild, a thriving weed, a tall, quick boy, loud and proud and full of temper." There are little quotes like, "To light a candle is to cast a shadow." Now, I'm not going to tell you what happened in the story because I don't want to spoil it for you. But there's a lot of talk about balance in this book. Here's another quote. "Have you never thought how danger must surround power, as shadow does light?" Or another one. "This sorcery is not a game we play for pleasure or for praise. Think of this, that every word, every act of our art is said and is done either for good or for evil. Before you speak or do, you must know the price that is to pay." Anyway, I'll leave that here for this week. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.